G'day everyone, welcome to this edition of DURKO's Notebook for the 2025 São Paulo Grand Prix. For some it was a weekend to forget, and for others, just a chance to move on and keep fighting for the title. Got a lot to talk about, so pull up a pew, sit back, relax and enjoy the show. You wouldn't fucking read about it. So with F1 returning to the South Americas, and this time the circus again returned to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, or as it's more commonly known, in Lagos outside São Paulo. Now, I've been trying to work out over the course of the weekend why it's referred to as the São Paulo Grand Prix, not the Brazilian Grand Prix as it's been referred to for years. For some reason they've rebranded it, relabelled it. I can't work out why. Seems stupid to me. Yes, it's in São Paulo, but still, it's a Brazilian Grand Prix. If you know why, please let me know. Of course, for the Brazilian rookie, Bortoleto, it was a weekend to forget, sadly for him. Obviously, he had his massive accident in the earlier part of the weekend, and then he retired during the race, which was tough for the young bloke because he's had a good season so far, and he just wanted to entertain in front of his home and local crowd, being a São Paulo local himself. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be for Gabby, and he'd had to walk away. And we'll look forward to going to Vegas for the first time and see how it goes there. Now, you've got to give credit to Max Verstappen. He's obviously got changes to the aero setup, a new donk's gone in the back of the car for the final 4 races, and that means he's started from pit lane, but then to come back and finish third is an incredible effort. And had he actually started from the grid in probably the top 10 places, would have been, I would say, an easy win for him based on the pace and the performance that he showed. So over the course of that race to get to where he did, from starting in the pit lane to third, an incredible drive by Max. Now, of course, this is my sole opinion. I'm not saying this because I'm biased as an Aussie towards an Aussie driver. I'm saying this based on my 51 years on this planet and the amount of F1s I've been to and or watched on TV live, and incidents that do occur. Now, they come together after the restart, after the safety car of Piastri, Antonelli and Leclerc, I think was a restart racing incident. I think the 10-second penalty handed to Piastri was way too harsh. I think Antonelli was involved in that some way, and he's part to blame for what occurred, because you can see from images of what occurred, he came across into the path of Piastri, cutting him off. And Piastri was in a position alongside Antonelli enough that he should have been given room by Antonelli to maintain the piece of real estate he had, because he had a wall there and nowhere else to go. So the domino effect of then going into Leclerc is just a by-the-by racing incident as far as I'm concerned. And I think the penalty was there that Piastri, as I said, was just too much, too great. I'm not saying that because it's had the flow-on effect of his championship standing and fight for the title, but I just think if you look at that whole thing by itself, even if Piastri was out of the running for the championship and was just there for a race, I still think it was a racing incident and the penalty was too harsh. Because there's a mate of mine, Matt Chisholm, made the comment to me yesterday. He said, if Norris does take the title, is this going to be a repeat of what we were witness to years ago with Webber and Vettel, where Webber was trying for the title, trying, couldn't get it. Vettel got it and just ran away for the next 4 seasons with all the titles. We're going to see a repeat of that, and Norris potentially taking a couple of championships over the next few seasons to make his mark, and Piastri just becomes the poor bridesmaid that gets nothing and doesn't catch the bouquet anymore. So it's going to be interesting what comes over the next 3 races at Vegas, Qatar and then Abu Dhabi, to see who can get the title. I think Max is out of the running to some degree, and it's just going to come down to the 2 McLarens. And I think McLaren have just got to manage it better and just say, look, there is no bias, there is no favouritism. We're open and honest here. There's 2 drivers just fighting for the title between themselves, and we're just going to let them do that. So obviously for Ferrari and especially Hamilton, it was a weekend to forget. Now, he's come out and publicly stated to the media that he believes he's living a nightmare, to which the Ferrari boss has obviously had something to say about it and said, yeah, less talk, more driving, please, to both Hamilton and Leclerc. But Hamilton has stated He had the dreams of going to the big red team, going to Maranello. Boy, he had dreams. Every F1 driver wants to do it, but for him, he said he's living a nightmare, and you got to agree with him. It's just not working out for him, and the dream has not come true. So the other thing I wanted to say, the final comment, is the Williams livery. Obviously, they've got Gulf as a sponsor. McLaren have done it before, where they've done the one-off special Gulf livery. But I've got to say, the one that Williams turned up with, I think it looks pretty shit-house. And I don't think they did Gulf as a sponsor much favour in producing that livery, because I think it looks ordinary. I know some people are going to say it looks great, but yeah, not for me. So that's it. Interesting weekend. Onwards and upwards to Las Vegas, and see if Piastri can dial in and grab some points back and reduce the gap he's got to Norris over the next 3 races. So that's it for this edition of DURKO's Notebook for the São Paulo Grand Prix. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks after Vegas. Until then, bye-bye.